Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network, the podcast where we turn stress into strategy, overthinking into clarity, and overwhelm into momentum. I am your host, Singh, the leadership coach who knows growth does not come from burnout, it comes from alignment. So, today's conversation is one I have been excited about for some time. My guest is a 28-year direct sales veteran, a retired realtor, and someone who in less than 90 days transformed her lives and her family's health by stepping into one of the most fascinating frontiers in biohacking today: frequency healing technology. Her story matters. It matters because it sits at that exact intersection and they show the life that we are in: purpose, courage, willingness to say yes to something the rest of the world has not quite caught up to yet. Her husband, a physician, started as a skeptic, ended up calling this technology, quote, the biohack of the century. My friends, get ready. Please welcome to the show the one and only Tricia Costa. Welcome, Tricia, to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. Amazing. Honored that you invited me to be on your show today.
So, before we get into the technology, the products, the transformation, I want to start with you. 28 years in direct sales. Wow. A successful career as a realtor. By every external measure, you had built something. Take us back to the moment or the season or the reason right before Oli life showed up in your life. What was the gap? What was the question your soul was quietly asking?
It was actually my mother that got me into this technology. My mom is my world, my best friend, the best mom anybody can have. And my mom has been suffering with osteoarthritis for about 10 years. And it's gotten really bad to the point where her knees were so swollen that we had to go to the doctor to get the liquid removed and get it injected. And every 6 weeks, it would get all swollen again. And she was in massive pain, lower back pain, pain on her hands. And with my husband being a physician, he was doing a lot of research to find solutions. We went to the Mayo Clinic, nothing was helping her. And we decided to try this device called P90 Plus. And her results were nothing short of a miracle for us because the swelling on the knees went away completely after 10 sessions. The pain went away after 10 sessions. After 4 sessions, the lower back pain was gone. And because she is out of massive pain, it also regulated her blood pressure. So that's
Wow.
how it all got started.
That is really amazing story. So before I go to detail of P90 and the other pieces that you shared, what did the retired realtor chapter actually feel like?
So yeah, as a realtor, for almost 3 decades selling homes, and I had a real estate team, and I was always very good at selling homes, and always loved direct sales for the people, for the second family that I created in the industry. And my husband used to always say to me, "You are so good at real estate. stop going back to direct sales. It was always my side gig for the fun of it, for the travel, for the friendships. And I always did extremely well with it. I had a few companies where I became a top earner, made seven figures in the industry, but my husband was always trying to get me out of it until now when he said to me, when he saw this technology, he said, Tricia, you have the biohack of the century in your hands. Frequency healing is the future of health and wellness. Why don't you finally retire from real estate and focus on this full time?
So I'll follow up with another question on that one, right? So I'll get back to the skeptical physician because that's a big part of biohacking. But on mindful leadership, we talk about difference between reacting and responding, right? You built a 28-year career walking into brand new technology, a brand new business model. At a certain age, most people are thinking of winding down. But what you did was not a reaction, that was a response. Uh, Talk to us about your inner leadership conversation that happens before you said yes to early life.
Yes. Well, my husband, again, had a huge influence in my decision. And I am still young, full of life, and I have a passion for helping people, for making an impact in someone's life, whether it's health or finances. I feel like I have so much knowledge, all the experience that I have in direct sales and with health and wellness throughout the past 28 years. I just couldn't just retire and, start traveling the world, which I am doing as well. Next year, we're going to start traveling more and more now that we are empty nesters. But truthfully, it's just all about having a heart for people and wanting to have an impact. We could be here for days with me telling you the experiences that I've had with different people. But one particular guy early on, I met him. He was here in Arizona to go to the Mayo Clinic for neuropathy on his legs because no doctor could tell him what was wrong with him. Can't feel his legs, wearing braces, wobbly. And he did 4 sessions in 3 days and walked out of my house without braces, able to feel his legs, feeling pain again and cold and hot, being able to tell if he was stepping on carpet or tile. And to have, we cried together, we hugged. And that to me is really not even a business or work. It's just a blessing to be able to share this with other people and see all the miracle results that I'm watching happening right in front of my face. Yeah, it's a passion. I don't even see it as a job or as a business opportunity. It's truly a passion for me.
That's brilliant. So before we get into the experience and the technology and everything, one last question. Um, so your story, I cannot wait for our listeners to hear, and it's two part. Not about you, about your husband. What was the moment he stopped being a skeptic and became a believer?
So, my husband has always been a skeptic on anything that's too far on the side of just health and wellness, natural healing and all of those things, because being a physician, he is more into, let's do surgery, let's take some prescription medication. So he's always been a skeptic. And that's part of the reason why he never really supported my ideas of direct selling, because all the companies that I participated in throughout the years, they were all in health and wellness, vitamins, supplements. And so he was never supportive of that. But with this, he was really concerned for my mom's health. They are very close. I always joke around that my mom likes him better than me. And, he was willing to try anything. And we had already tried all the things that a doctor would try with PRP, stem cells, and all of those things with very little results, very little improvement. And when we found this device, this frequency healing, he was open to it just out of desperation, I guess, because we couldn't help my mom and she was in such massive pain, taking painkillers every 8 hours, which is horrible for your liver. And so we were like, okay, let's try it. And when we saw the results with my mom, then he decided that he was going to try it as well because he had this chronic pain on the ball of his right foot. He had been injecting himself with PRP, and I know he was doing it more often than recommended with very little improvement. And for him, it was one session. One session, he got up and he looked at me in complete disbelief and he said, Tricia, the pain is gone. And I
Wow.
was even shocked. I was already believing in the technology, but I was shocked that it was one session for him and the pain was gone. So to tell you that at that moment he was no longer a skeptic would be an understatement. And that's truly when he said to me, "You need to retire from real estate. It's been, a long run, great career. It's time to retire. You need to focus on this."
My friends, you are listening to Sing on Mindful Leadership Transformation Lives. And I have got my best friend Tricia here. So, Tricia, I'm going to ask you about to put your teacher's lens, right? Teacher's lens, because the next stretch, our listeners need to understand exactly what and why, right? So, put yourself in front of someone who has never heard the words frequency healing. No jargon, no biohacking buzzwords, in your own language, in the way you would explain it to your sister at a kitchen table. What is the P90? What actually it is doing inside human body?
Yeah, so the P90 is the only machine in the world for in-home use that mixes several technologies all in one, such as PEMF, which is the pulsed electrical magnetic field therapy. It also has terahertz. It has EMS, which is electric muscle stimulation, red light therapy, TENS, heat. So all these technologies are all in one device. It's called P90 Plus because it took 90 tries to get this perfect. And this is the only company that actually tests. Not only we're the only company with all these technologies combined in one device, but we're also the only one that has it tested with Intertech, which is one of the top three largest third-party lab testing companies in the world. So all the devices are tested for quality, effectiveness, and safety. And as far as, what is PEMF and terahertz, what is that doing? It's a non-invasive technology that is using low frequency electromagnetic waves. It mimics the Earth's natural frequencies and it penetrates the body at a cellular level. That's why it's scientifically proven to regenerate, renew the cells in the body, detoxes the body, increases blood circulation, decreases inflammation, increases bone density. So all the studies that they have done behind this technology, and it's basically grounding. When people tell you to go put your feet on dirt, good soil, and if you're standing there for 12 hours, you're going to get all these benefits, and that's what we are doing. We are mimicking that grounding experience.
So, you have the last conversation was very interesting. You positioned and described P90 Plus as, if I'm not wrong, iPhone of Oli Life ecosystem. That's what you use, right? It was iPhone of Oli Life system. Meaning, once people experience it, they naturally expand into rest of the line. So take our listeners on a quick tour of the ecosystem. Your P90 Plus, I think you have Shaken, then you have G1, then you have, I think, Vitality Van. Can you just take my audience through what the ecosystem looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So the main device that we have is the P90 Plus. That's the one that I tell you you have to have one. Every household needs to have a P90 Plus because just like you recharge your cell phone every night, you got to recharge your cells. There's a new book that came out called The Fifth Element, where this guy describes this experience here, grounding, as important as air. Air, food, water, you have to recharge your cells. You have to regenerate the cells in your body daily. So every night, being able to recharge your entire body by simply putting your feet on the platform, simply putting your feet on the P90 Plus, it's going to do that. It also has two handheld attachments. One is for the face, it's anti-aging for tightening to better the texture of the skin. The other one has multiple uses. One of them is body sculpting. And as a woman, that's the first one that comes to my mind is body sculpting. I use it all the way from the knees all the way up to my waist. I already lost 2 inches around my waist, 3 inches around my hips. I lost the last 5 pounds I was trying to lose. So the P90 Plus to me, that's our flagship product. That's the one that everyone needs to have. It's kind of like if you go from being a Samsung user and you're going to go to an iPhone. First, you buy the iPhone, and then maybe you might buy AirPods or an iPad or a MacBook Pro. But first, usually people go into an iPhone if they're transitioning into Apple. So first, I would go into a P90 Plus. It's an incredible device, and the whole family can use the same device. And if you love it, which you will, just like I fell in love with my iPhone and now I have Apple devices all over my house, then I bought the Shaken. The Shaken is a very special device with 7 different technologies in it, many of the ones that I just mentioned. And it's like a belt and it goes around your waist and it helps you to lose visceral fat around the waist. It's good for tightening of the skin, lower back pain, the love handles. It's a fantastic device. It's the newest one that we have. It just came out in December. We also have something called the G1, which is for people that have dry eyes. They see floaters, prescription glasses, migraines, headaches. It's great to relax at night before you go to bed. We also have something called the Bama Air. I actually just received a new one today. I'm spreading them throughout my house. There's an area in Asia where people live to be 100 plus, and they did some studies. It's because of the quality of the air at this place called Bama. So they replicated that air quality. So I have spread that throughout my house. So inside of my house, we have Bama Air. And yeah, so these are some of the top devices that we have. And I think everybody needs to start with the P90 Plus. Now, the P90 Plus has the two handheld attachments. We also have the P90 that is just the bottom, just the placement for your feet, and you don't get the two handheld attachments. But this is so important because the body is electrical at its core. And the cells just need to repair on a daily basis to function properly. And PMF helps to restore that optimal cellular performance.
So I think some of my listeners with resonate with that electric conductivity of our body. I have spoken about that at length. Um, if you allow me, and again, P90 Plus and G1 is on my top list to try as soon as I can get my hands on it. I'm already working to try to do that. But if you allow me, I like my guests to talk about vulnerability, right? That shifts your response to conversations, right? And just to be clear, guys, when I spoke with her a couple of days back, she mentioned about iPhone and brought me back the memories of moving from BlackBerry to iPhone, the very first, and no music at that time. The music was that small separate device. Anyway, um, it's a journey, right? What did your mother say to you first morning she woke up without pain?
You know, that my mom had been very negative. My mom had been negative because she was in pain. And when we first brought her to the device, it was like, oh, it's not going to work. And just didn't even want to try it. She was negative. And we got her feet on it and she left very negative. I didn't feel anything. It didn't help with anything. I knew it wasn't going to work. And I said, Mom, just give it a few days. Can we just do it every day just for a few days? And the fourth day comes around and the lower back pain is gone. And she walks through the door, and I literally had tears in my eyes because she is like, almost like dancing as she walks in, and she's like, Trisha, the pain on my back is gone. My knees are still hurting me, but my lower back pain is gone. And she went into the pantry and got a broom, and she's like, look, I can even sweep the floors. The pain is gone. And to tell you that that was just like an emotional moment for me, because my mom's amazing, and this whole thing with pain just got her negative, and it changed who she had been her whole life. She was always very positive and happy, and to see her pain free. And so at that point, so after day 4, it was very easy to continue to do the treatments because now it had helped her back. And by session 10, the knee swelling was gone and the pain was gone. The pain on her hands had gone from like a 9, 10 to a 1 or 2. And finally, about a month into it, she was completely pain-free. And she checks her blood pressure every day. And that's when she noticed that her blood pressure was regulating. And we went back to the doctor, her internal medicine one, and she said, well, a lot of it is related to the fact that she's no longer in pain. Because when you are in pain, it's naturally going to raise the blood pressure.
So the neuropathic patient we discussed the other day, your husband with 18 months of PRP injections, your mom, and all the different things that you see. For a listener right now who has been told there is nothing else we can do, what do you want them to know?
You have say there's something that you can do. There is something that you can do. And I think Danny is a great example of that. I have a video testimonial from Danny because I said, Danny, can I do a video? Can you tell us what happened? Because if I tell people, they're going to think I'm making this up because it's such a miracle. It's so insane that this worked for him after going through every doctor in the United States of America, after going to the Mayo Clinic. And it's so cute because during the video, he says, when I first met Miss Tricia, I thought it's a con job. He's like, there's no way, nothing works for me. Not even Mayo Clinic, there's no way. And when 4 sessions later, he walked out without braces on his legs, we were just all in awe of what just happened. So if it worked for Danny, I truly believe that. And for my mother, I mean, my mother, we struggled for 10 years, and my husband, 18 months, and so many other people. I have a really good friend, Susie Butte. She lives close by. She's my massage therapist. She's been doing massages for 35 years. For 15 years, she suffered from massive chronic pain. And Susie is pain-free today. As a matter of fact, there's a crazy story with Susie last year. She drove down to Mexico, crossed the border because we live in Arizona. So she crossed in algodones. She was bringing back Tramadol, which is a painkiller, and she got caught. And it was very dramatic, to say the least. And they told her, if you ever go through here again with Tramadol, it's going to be some serious trouble. They took the Tramadol away from her. But Susie is pain-free today. And again, I could tell you guys stories for hours and hours and hours of people that really had no hope left. And once they went into frequency healing, it changed their lives. And I think everybody, I would say you owe it to yourself to try one last thing because I'm very confident that it's going to have a dramatic result in your health.
Stay with us. You're listening to your host saying on Mindful Leadership. Now we are going to go behind the curtain into the business model, the leadership philosophy, and the exact way you can get a one on one Zoom with Trisha herself. And this is the part of the show you don't want to miss. Welcome back, Trisha. Here, we are going to talk about something I find fascinating because you have taken what most people think they know about direct sales and you flipped it on its head. So the second I say direct sales or network marketing, half of my listeners are going to roll their eyes, and I'm fine with that because they have seen the bad version of it, right? So tell us what makes Oli Life different? How is hybrid traditional plus direct sales model fundamentally different from multi-level structures people are tired of?
Yes, that's a great question. This company has created something completely different. And like you said, they flipped it upside down because it is a mix between direct sales and traditional business. And you can build a business however you see it fit, however you think it's best for you. So I know a lot of network marketers that are building this as a network marketing company. Good for them. The beauty of it is we do get paid multiple levels, which is amazing. But I am building mostly as a traditional business through networking. And with traditional network marketing companies, you can't really do networking. Number one, because they all hate network marketers. The moment you walk into the room with lotions and potions, they're all looking at each other going, oh, there comes the direct sales guy. They're going to try to sell us a business. In the meantime, we are here to give each other referrals and not to buy a new business. But the only way to make money in a direct sales company, a traditional one, is by recruiting people. You have to recruit people because just by having customers, you're never going to make enough money.
Mhm.
And with Oli Life, we changed that. And when you sell a device to somebody, it's almost like I used to be in pharmaceutical sales. That's how I met my husband. So I called on doctors. And now I'm calling on doctors. I'm calling on clinics that are, related to holistic healing, acupuncture, chiropractors, naturopathic doctors, really any type of pain clinic. There are so many different businesses, salons. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing what I used to do way back in the day when I was in pharmaceutical sales before I got my real estate license. And that's how I'm doing this business. Traditional sales, calling on different types of businesses, doing a lot of networking, doing expos. So there's a different avenue here to build this business. And if you never want to get involved on the network marketing side of things, you don't have to. And it's been extremely profitable. And I can truly say, even though I have made seven figures in the industry in the past, this is hands down by far the most profitable company I have ever been involved in.
So within, if I have my notes correctly, within roughly 90 days of joining Ori Life, you now have like 1,800 days, right? For $1,800 per day. And go ahead.
Yes, since I talked to you, I have now days that are 2,600 a day.
Wow. Wow. So I don't even ask guests to share numbers, but you offered yours because you want listeners to see what is actually possible. So can you talk us about that trajectory, not the hype version, the real one, the hours, the discipline, the work that goes into making that kind of 2,600 days?
Absolutely. And I just want to make sure to also make it clear that my income is not in any way an income claim or a guarantee that anybody can make a certain amount of money because we're all very different and we all have different potential. But most importantly, you need to work hard. I have worked very hard to get to where I am in 90 days. I have put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it. But you're right, that's what's possible because I'm just human like anybody else. So if I can achieve something, anybody can, right? If they do what I did, they can achieve the same thing. And my basis to building any business is transparency, honesty, and showing my back office to people, just an open book. Because I always say that if the truth is not good enough, then you need to be doing something else. The truth has to be good enough. So being just very transparent, pouring my heart out, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I love it. And just showing every little detail to every single person and always having a funnel that is overflowing with people. So at any given time, I need to be following up with at least 100 people. And that's my secret to success. And that's how I became the number one sponsor in the company in just 90 days.
So I would add one special posture that I saw in our conversation last time is service-based leadership. And what I mean by that is I love your model, right? You have taken on partners, including our friend Jay, and you do all the back end work, the Zooms, the Q&A, the KYC paperwork, the order processing, and they simply collect a check from a mindful leadership lens. That is a radically different posture. Service first, ego last, right? Can you talk about why you built it in that way?
Yes, absolutely. Number one, because I love to connect with people and I love to help people. My goal is truly to help you become successful and the next person. Nothing makes me happier than to know that I was involved in so many people's success. They achieved and I was there to help them. So that's part of the reason. And I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy it. And I feel like it's innovative for me to come to different people like you that are successful, that have a following that people like and trust because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You have to have enough people that know, like, and trust you to have success in business. And so I love to partner up with people that have that kind of influence. And I will do all the background work. I will make sure that all the Zooms are done, all the trainings are done, that everybody gets placed in the right location in the back office. So I get all of that done for everyone. And if anybody wants to see what I'm talking about, we can definitely, schedule a Zoom, however you would like for them to connect with me.
So, note for producer, we are at 34 minutes, 30 seconds. A question, let me confirm with Tricia, we'll get back to recording. So, this is where I wanted to ask you the question that if somebody wants to get on your Zoom call, how they would get. So, are we ready
Um,
for that? Or do we want to come back on that question later, maybe when we do the second
okay.
one?
Because if they come to me, I need to know they're coming from you.
So, we
So,
will have to set up. So, we'll have to set up something outside of this conversation and then we'll come back to that.
okay.
Okay, so that's why I do this with the producers so they know what to publish and not publish. Okay, we are getting back to our questions for production at 35:11. Um, Trisha, this is such a great conversation. I'm going to schedule another session where we talk a little bit more deeper into financial model and how people can get to you because I'm running out of time. But as always, my friends love my fire round questions. Are you ready for that? Simple five
Right.
questions. All right. Complete this sentence. Before Oli Life, I thought health was about dash. Now I know it is about dash.
I thought it was about taking too many supplements. I got to the point where I was taking 20 supplements a day. And now I know it's about taking 3 to 4 supplements a day and doing my frequency healing every single morning and every single night.
Wow. So, realtor brain or frequency healer heart? Which one runs the show today?
Frequency healer heart,
Ah,
100%.
so, one word that describes how you lead: a servant, a connector, a catalyst, a closure, or something else.
With love.
With love. Awesome. The biggest myth people carry about direct sales, busted in one sentence.
They believe it's about bugging friends and family. Has nothing to do with that. It's you got to run your business. I run direct sales like I do my pharmaceutical sales back in the day, like I did my real estate for many years, just like I would run any business. It's not about bugging friends and family. It's about running like a CEO.
Awesome. If frequency healing were a song, what genre would it be and why?
That's a great question because I only listen to Christian music and Tears for Fears from the 80s. So that would be a tough question for me to answer. I only know these two, Christian music and Tears for Fears. So I'm going to say somehow it's going to be Tears for Fears will be involved in that somehow.
So, last question, Trisha. And I want you to speak directly into the mic to this one specific person. They are listening right now. Maybe they are in pain. Maybe they have been dismissed by every doctor they have seen. Maybe they are a leader running on empty, a watching parent right in front of them, and they don't know where to turn. What do you want to say that person today, right now, through this microphone?
I want to tell you that using the P90 Plus for me personally was all about my mental health. It has given me the kind of clarity and focus and creativity I have never had in my life. For me personally, that has been how I have benefited from this P90 plus more than anything else. Yes, I had soreness on the knees, I had soreness from working out, but for me, the most important thing has truly been mental health. And I feel like I am operating now 10 steps above where I was before I started using this machine. And I think it's something that every single human can benefit from, especially nowadays, to be more calm, to be more focused, to get rid of anxiety. It's absolutely priceless. And that's why I say every single household deserves to have one of these devices.
Wow. Tricia Costa, my friend, thank you so much. Thank you for your courage, for your service to partners you carry, your willingness to be a beginner again at this stage of your career. And the biggest thing for me, the conviction you bring to the technology that is genuinely changing life. My friends, this is Singh, your host on Mindful Leadership. transforming lives on the Transformation Network. Join me every Tuesday and let's keep transforming lives together. I'll see you next time again.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building stronger connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singhpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.